Thanks for joining us. I'm Marlin Bohling with you today. Happy Wednesday to you. We're watching your ag commodity trade. It's been kind of an exciting day already here on the grain side of things. Let's take a look at where we now stand in the corn market here. We have the corn on the nearby March contract trading 6 higher at 376.5. That's only one tick from our high of the day. It continues to just grind higher as it goes. We have the low at 369 3/4. So we've come off of that almost 7 cents now from our overnight low. July corn now firming up 4.5 cents at 391.5. And how about that December? It's at 403, almost on the high of the day. Only one tick from it, and that is now 3 cents higher. On the soybean trade, soybeans have been trading higher this morning. We have March now 8 1/4 higher at 1046 1/4. July up 7 1/4 at 1065 3/4. Even September up 4.5 cents right now. And in the wheat trade, we've had some large moves in the wheat market today. They're getting larger too, I might add. We have March Chicago wheat 22.5 higher. That's right, 22.5 higher at 485 3/4, almost on the high of the day. July up 19 1/4 at 510.5. It's really getting the attention of the markets now. If you look at Kansas City wheat, you have the March contract now trading 18 higher at 507, and check out July new crop wheat. 20 3/4 higher at 543 1/4. I haven't seen moves like this in the wheat market for probably at least a year and a half, or at least over a year. We have the Minneapolis wheat on the March contract now trading 6.5 higher at 603. July now up 11 at 629 1/4. So big moves there too. Not as large as what they are in the other two exchanges. On the cotton trade right now, let's check out the nearby March. Still down 2, hardly any trading going on there. The May up 9 at 82.34. In December down 15 now at 76.90, and that had been higher on the day earlier last time we checked. Scott Gecas joins us now from the edge of the trading floor in Chicago. And Scott, I would imagine that things are kind of exciting out there today.
Yeah, today's a surprising day. Everything's straight up. They're full steam ahead. There's no looking at any selling pressure at all coming into play. You know, it's all due to the dry weather. Until the dry weather in Argentina starts to settle down, you know, you got to remain, bullish. You know, the 8 to 10 day forecast still remains dry. You know, one of the things that really caught my eye this morning as far as, the data coming out was in the corn market. You know, the USDA estimates that they were off by 15 million. World ending stocks are at a 4-year low. It's the largest drawdown since 1988. So with stuff like that coming out, you got to remain bullish.
Okay, overnight we also heard they sold 250,000 tons of soybeans to unknown destinations. That was a very large sale to announce all at one time. Now, we have had sales of corn up until today, so the corn has benefited as well. Soy meal has been leading the charge. We can take a look at what the soy meal market is doing. When we checked earlier this morning, it was up about $7. Check this out. March now $10 higher at $396.50. And now you have the May $8.40 higher at $397.60. So huge moves in the soy meal. It continues to kind of lead the way, doesn't it, Scott?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, the soy meal is definitely a driving factor in the soybean market. Just across the board, you're seeing production coming in. You know, that does increase demand. So that's another factor driving all these prices higher. You know, with the wheat market in particular, one of the reasons why you're seeing that big move today is the good to excellent continues to fall, and then a poor versus very poor continues to rise. So with the wheat market coming into play, I mean, we could test 500 fairly soon.
So I heard yesterday the commodity funds added to long positions in the corn, soybeans, and also on the wheat. What about producers? Should they be looking at taking advantage of these higher wheat prices right now, or any of these grains at this time?
Yeah, I mean, with the weather being a driving factor for all the higher prices, you are seeing net long positions just across the board. That is a little concerning to me, though, a little bit, because if you see any type of pullback with any break of any support, you're going to see a very sharp increase of selling activity, very sharp spike in volatility with the options.
All right, Scott, we'll bring you back here in a moment, and we'll check out what's going on in the livestock trade while the grains are surging ahead. Livestock has been going the other way. We'll find out in just a moment. Well, we're talking with Scott Gecas of Longleaf Trading in Chicago, and I want to take a look here, Scott, at these outside markets momentarily, and then I want to get into this livestock trade too. Lots of talk about the financial markets, what their direction is. Right now, the Dow, I understand, has been surging a little bit this morning, not anything like what we have been seeing here in recent times earlier this year, but it is up about 75 points at 25,483. We did note this morning that the dollar value on the dollar index had been higher by about 190 points. Right now on the March futures on the U.S. dollar index, we're trading at 90.630. Well, it's firmed up even more. We're up 340 points right now. The crude oil market, if we look at West Texas crude, we have the April contract now down 73 cents at 62.28 per barrel. So it's well under the $63 level now. Heating oil trade, of course, that's how we trade our diesel fuel. It is down a little over 3 cents right now in the March. We're down 3.1 cents at 193.2 per gallon. And then we get to the livestock trade here, and on the live cattle board so far this morning, we've had negative signs most of the day. We have the April contract down $1.28 at 122.97. That is going to be our lead month, taking over at noon today. June down 97 at 115.38. So a lot of weakness there. On the feeder cattle, we have the nearby March down $1.60 at 144.95. And now you have the April contract $1.83 lower at 147.37. So here you have that market in the neighborhood of about $1.80 off of its earlier highs this morning. How much trouble is this cattle market in, Scott?
Well, it all comes back down to, the big supply concerns. You're seeing a very overabundance of supply. That's one of the main reasons why you're seeing the setback here with just the cattle as well as the hogs. Demand is still staying in stronger right as we speak, but if that demand starts falling off, you're going to see a big spike lower.
We were just talking earlier in our broadcast with another farm broadcaster from the southern Texas Panhandle area, and he was talking about how the winter wheat is just basically not even there. The grasslands were really drying up. They really had to take the cattle off of the winter wheat grazing areas earlier than expected, and that kind of shoved them into the marketplace maybe a little ahead of schedule this year. Is that going to be something that complicates things as we get into the summer months here?
Yeah, I think so. Especially with the wheat, that's another reason for the big spike in wheat today. So, with the, just not that much supply of wheat going across the board, demand's going to still be there, and that's elevating prices. So going into feeders, yeah, that's definitely going to be a concern.
Yeah, of course, we have that feed component that's just kind of hanging over this entire livestock market here right now today. Lean hog trade, it's been softer this morning. Let's take a look at where we're trading. On the lean hog futures, boy, we have April now weakening up to 68.12. That's a new low for the day. We're down $1.83, and we have the May lean hogs $1.25 lower, 75.15. That is just a dime off of its low of the day, and we have the June selling off by $1.10. It's now trading at 80.92. All the nearbys are leading the way down today, so apparent bear spreading taking place in the lean hog trade. Scott, good to visit with you. Thanks for all the information. I appreciate that very much.
No problem. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Scott Gecas with Longleaf Trading. He's located there in Chicago. Bungee markets today. Grains going one way, livestock going the other.
Okay, we'll keep watching it. Like you said, it's a weather market, especially when it comes to grains. Thank you. Markets editor Marlin Bohling.